All right, we are now welcoming onto the show our first Ohio State D1 athlete. He's a YouTuber. He's a TikTok star. He was Emily Cole's formal date.
Wow.
What doesn't this guy do?
Wow.
Please welcome Mitchell Pelkey.
Preston, Jerry, how we doing, fellas? I'm excited. I'm excited for tonight. A nice solid hour with the fellas, so I'm ready to attack it.
Let's do it. For starters, did I just get ripped, Jerry? Did I just get ripped to Jerry?
Look,
I'm Jarrett.
For all the fans out there wondering, I asked Jared if he had any games. He said no, and that's a rookie mistake. So if I ever see young Jerry on campus, you'll hear me for sure.
Oh, that is so disrespect.
Great. I thought he just botched the name.
No,
come on. I even got it on the screen down here. Jerry and Preston, I'm proud to be here. I really want to say thank you for the opportunity as well. Excited to talk to some fellow Buckeyes as well.
Absolutely. Just start us off with, like, who are you? Where'd you come from? How'd you end up at Ohio State?
Yeah. So like Jerry said, I'm a D1 lacrosse player here at Ohio State. I came here because I was recruited here to play lacrosse back when I was 15, little freshman in high school, little Italian guy running around. So I got recruited to come here. Picked here. I was talking with Preston before we recorded. I love this place. I honestly never want to leave, but I'm here playing lacrosse, creating content on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, everything. And I think most recently known as the Duke formal guy, but we'll get more into that. But I'm excited to be here. Like I said,
wow, 15. When did you start playing lacrosse?
So I kind of grew up with a stick in my hand. My dad played at UVA back in the day. So he got me into the sport. Like, grew up, never was allowed to play baseball. This is like such a sin to the sport of lacrosse. Grew up playing lacrosse. Obviously an offensive guy with like my body type. My brother's a big dude, so he was defense. And then, just kind of always like meshed with the right kids in my town, got on the right travel team. And it was right after your 8th grade year, that summer going into freshman year of high school. Like, that was a big summer. Like, every weekend in June and July, you'd be like playing at 15, 14 years old in front of like 30 college coaches. And it was so wicked. But obviously I played good, and now I'm here, and I'm so grateful for the opportunity.
Wow. Is that a crazy thought that like a 15-year-old, like, they can judge off of a little 15-year-old what the talent could be?
Yeah. I mean, looking back, like, so the rules actually got changed. So now college coaches can't look at high schoolers until September 1 of their junior year, which is good. It's like, obviously guys are so much more mature. They know like actually what they're picking, but like looking back, so many guys that committed when I committed, like, decommitted and picked a different school, because like when you're 14 to 18, like, you change so much. It's like what you liked as a freshman to senior, it's like, it's so different. So it was so interesting. But like, I even look back at pictures when I was 15, I was like, dude, how did I know like where I was going to college? I looked like a little scrawny pencil. Like, I didn't know anything. And I think like God put me in the right position, and I've honestly like never looked back or never questioned my decision of coming here.
That's awesome.
That's freaking wild, bro. When I was 15 years old, I think I was just like worried about Snapchat streaks, if I'm being honest, let alone what I was going to do with the rest of my life.
I know, it's like so different whenever I tell people that, and especially like at the time, like, yeah, Pelkey's committed. He's like, dude, he's 15 years old. What do you mean he's committed? He's like, yeah, he's committed. He's going to Ohio State. It's like so weird, like, especially in the moment. Like, when I say it like this, like, I'm like, wow, like, that was crazy. And back in the day, like, couldn't even drive a car, didn't even have a job yet. It's just so crazy. But I'm glad the rules changed, like I said, and I think it's definitely better for the future of the sport.
Were you kind of like the cool kid at your school for like committing so early? Like, were
Yeah,
people like, wow,
like a shock? Yeah. Like, I went to a high school, and when my brother was a senior, I was a freshman. So like, it was funny, like, yo, Pelkey, your brother just committed? And he's like, yeah. So a little bit, but like, I don't know. I'm such a humble guy when it comes to stuff like that. I don't really like to brag about like those little things.
Yeah, for sure.
Dude, that's freaking wild. I just, like I said, 15 years old, I feel like you're so young at that age, and like to be able to dictate your future. And it seems to, like, based off of your statements, like, it seems like you got that right at 15, right? Like, your decision, like, I mean, you chose Ohio State. You seem to be loving it. It just seems like, at 15, I'd be like, I would have definitely picked wrong. I would have been like, I would have went after what looked cool, the warm place. I wouldn't have picked Ohio. I'm going to just be straight up.
Exactly. Yeah. I was actually between Ohio State, UVA, and Hopkins. And Ohio State just had like everything I was attracted to the coach and how he kind of handled the team and everything. And it was just kind of all in one thing. And what was weird about that was literally no one from my family or from like my high school has gone to Ohio or Ohio State. Like I was like the first, and it was so weird. But no, like definitely made the right decision. Super glad to be here.
Cool. So what are you studying here?
Yeah. I'm in a major called sport industry. Pretty easy major. Like a lot of athletes get into it because they want to become like a coach. And for me, it's like doesn't require a lot of schoolwork, so it allows me to focus on this do past college. So kind of like that entrepreneur mindset where it's like obviously I have to keep my grades up to play the sport I love. So I want to take that route. I kind of got to make my major less of a work or a course load.
For sure.
All right. So like the YouTube channel, we noticed your first video on your YouTube wasn't even about lacrosse. It was, I think, a haircut or a barbershop or something along those lines. So how'd the YouTube channel become about in all of this? 15 years old, you recruited D1 lacrosse, and now you're like, oh, I'm going to go start a YouTube channel.
Yeah. So I committed October 1st, 2015 to Ohio State. March 5th, 2016, I started my YouTube channel. And that's something I always wanted to do as a kid, but I was like so afraid of like what people would say, like bust my balls and different things. Like, especially then, like you're a young buck creating, like it definitely didn't have the rep it did now. And like my mom was such a big supporter on it. Cause like my dad is like, lax this, lax that. My mom's like, dude, you got to get another hobby or like you're going to be screwed. And like, I always wanted to be YouTube. I was just so afraid to kind of like get that out there. My mom was just kept hounding me. It's like, yo, you got to do this. So like, I finally got the courage to make that first video. And I knew that first one had to be super funny. And I was like, haircut videos like always do so well. And it's like, I still remembered I was at Stonebridge High School my freshman year in history class with one of my boys, Evan Buckley. Shout out to Buck. And I look over, I was like, yo, like, let me give you a haircut. He's like, only if I can give you one. And I was like, all right, let's do it. So I just went to my mom's house, was on the deck because we couldn't get any hair in the house, propped up little, like literally like the camera they film like the Christmas mornings with, and just went to town on his head, totally chopped him up. It's one of my funniest videos, like my favorite video on the channel. Like it's got all these bald spots and everything, but it's a classic, and kind of just started from there, and I've just continued to make content.
Yeah, for sure. That's so funny. I mean, what a start.
I know. It's like, me and my buddy still talk about it, and like I had to take a couple videos down, but a lot of my first videos, like the first 10 were like haircut videos. Like that's actually how I got this haircut right here, is because like we switched spots and he gave me like a mullet mohawk, and I just have stuck with it ever since. And kind of those first 10 videos, like people would call this the Pelkey special. People were like, yo, like come over, give me the Pelkey special and everything. So it's crazy kind of where it's came, but that's definitely how it started.
That's funny. So then how did it transition into like lax content?
Yeah. So obviously like lax was a huge part of my life, but like the fans didn't really know that. So it's easy to mesh, like just bring the camera out and we go shoot, where I kind of document it and everything. Like I started doing some like things of just like bringing the camera in the locker room, like interviewing different guys and everything. And then, I got more into like the actual YouTube scene of just like kind of vlogging like my day to day. And obviously like lacrosse is really, part of my day to day. So that would be included in it. And then like by the time my senior year of high school came around, like I did a series called The Ride, where every episode was each game day. So like it'd be like wake up, go to school, pregame, game, postgame, bam, episode 1. Do that for all games. And it was like 20 games, so 20 episodes, and we ended up winning the state championship. So like that's definitely something I look back on. I was like, wow, that's sick. It was like a series, like people loved it. I still look back and like laugh at it, and it's like so interesting how my editing's like definitely gone up, but looking back, like the storytelling is still the same, still me just clowning with my guys. But yeah, I just think it was so natural the way it kind of came in, because it was already like half of my life.
Yeah, for sure. That was kind of the next question I was about to ask is, do you do your own editing?
Yeah. So anything you see of Mitchell out on Mitchell Pelkey's TikTok, Instagram, anything is by me. Definitely something I don't recommend getting into, because it takes so much time, and honestly something I'm trying to get away from currently, of like hiring an editor, because like if I could film and then hand off the footage to somebody else, we're talking about 50% of my time being freed up. And I think like that's so crucial if I want to take that step up in this business.
That's freaking awesome, bro. Like that's so good. And like the best part about your content is you seem so genuine. Like I think I reached out to you on Instagram, man, and I was like, dude, your energy is freaking awesome. Like we want to have you on. Let's talk a little bit. You responded, oh, I'm about this. Let's do it. You jumped in the Zoom call today and you're freaking like bouncing off the walls. I think we asked you how you were doing. You said, I'm amped. Like it was just like, it's contagious. Like that's how you are on the YouTube channel. So like,
yeah, like, like,
oh, go ahead.
Kind of go off that. Like my buddies like almost hate it sometimes because I'm always like fired up, like I'm ready to go. Such a morning person. So back in the fall, we had 6 a.m. lifts. Like I'm fired up. I got gun on, the speakers in the locker room. We're getting this place hype. And I don't know. I just think like I'm always like at that level because like I'm just so thankful to like, you know, be on here talking to you guys. Like without me starting my YouTube channel, you guys having this podcast, like none of this would be a thing. So I'm just so thankful. And I think going back to like the genuine thing, like I love that because like in this business, there's so many fake people, and it's like to find other genuine people that like do the same thing on social that I do, I think is sick. So like, I don't know, like I just never was about like being fake or not, or just doing it for the views and all that. It just like never was my spiel.
So when you first started up that YouTube page, was it like immediate, like good feedback from it? Like what were your views like when you first started?
I mean, like when I first started, it was all like, yeah, like that's a funny video, but nobody was like, all right, like I'm pumped for the next video. Like it was just kind of like Pelkey's just like making videos. It wasn't like anything super serious. And I think like when people realized it was serious, it was when my junior year of high school, I started, I did this thing called the 30 day like vlogmas, people call it, like just make a vlog every day in December. And like that made it real. And I was like, wow, like I love doing this. And, but yeah, I mean, like after that first haircut video, like another big reason why I kept on going is because like I went to school the next day and like people were like watching the video and like laughing. And I was like, that's so sick. Like they're laughing at something I created from nothing. Like I love that. And like, just, I'm chasing that feeling like still to this day, every time I make a video.
And that's so accurate, bro. Like that feeling of like, I don't know, like you kind of like had an impact on someone. Like, you know, you said they were laughing, or we just had an episode air where we had a guy on whose brother passed away from cancer. He kind of shared his story and we just got a lot of good feedback. Just like, oh my God, man, it like really, you know, sets off the light bulb. Like, I agree. That stuff's like what makes all this worth it. Makes the, you know, the hours of editing, all that crazy stuff. It makes it totally worth it.
Yeah. No, I think you're totally right.
So then how did you make a transition into TikTok or Instagram? Like you started out with the YouTube, and then when were you like, okay, now I want to grow to Instagram or TikTok or other platforms like that?
So I'd say like, I honestly like originally started on Instagram, but like not with the intent of like creating content. It was just like another Johnny just posting pics, like whenever he thinks he looks good. And then it was YouTube. And then it took me a while to like create, like put micro clips on my Instagram about my YouTube channel. Like I kind of wanted to be separate, but like then again, like that's a big step you take in this industry, something I was fighting for a while. And then as TikTok started to rise here in the past couple of years, like I was so against it at first, just because it was like, you know, you're a TikToker, you're a dancer, thirst trap, and like wasn't me, but like getting on the app, it's like way bigger than that. So I got on October 2020, and some guy I knew was like in the content business, like, dude, you got to get on it. Like, it's the best engagement. It's the thing that's popping off right now. Like, you don't have to be this thirst trap dancer guy. Like, you can create your own niche, but like, you got to get on it. It's going to help everything. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Like October 2020 to then like November when this whole Duke stuff happened. It's like been a crazy year on the app, but like, definitely something I won't stop posting on. It's crazy app. Like trying to compare that to Instagram and YouTube, like it's so different.
Well,
for sure.
Now we got to talk about it. Give us the whole Duke situation. Tell the story.
Yeah. Still a surreal story. Like I people ask me all the time, and I'm like, I don't know how it even happened. But this girl, Emily Cole, that is a Duke track and field star down there in North Carolina, posted a video saying she needed a formal date to her Duke track and field formal. And I just like responded, just being a clown, being like, hey, like I had a mustache at the time. And I was like, hey, like my name is Mitch Pelkey. I play lacrosse at Ohio State. Like this mustache is not even close to being permanent. Like, did I get the job?
Iconic line. Iconic line with the mustache.
That's gotta be it. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then she actually like waited like 3 or 4 days to respond. And I was like, dude, like, what's up with this girl? Like, she sees it. It's got 1 million views. Everyone's at her in my comments. Like, what's going on, dude? I was fired up. My boys were clowning on me. Like, dude, like, she brushed you, like, all this stuff. Then she responded, like, telling the whole story. And she was like, Mitchell, do you want to go to formal with me? And then the second video I made was like, in the 2021 Duke formal draft, Emily Cole selects your boy, and I got all fired up, and like that went viral. So like back and forth, a couple viral videos, and then post Thanksgiving, I'm headed down there to go to her formal like first weekend in December, and I'm like 4 hours in, and I'm thinking to myself like about if I should wear a white button down or black button down. I like look in the back of my seat, back seat of my car where I hang up my suit, and it's like not even there. I forgot my suit going to a Duke formal. Gary Preston, like that doesn't happen, boys. And like I'm still shocked this day. Like a couple people have asked me like if that's fake, and I bow down to you. Like I swear to God, it's not fake. I think it like made better for the video and like better for like the memories and everything. But, you know, I went down there, we hit it off. Like Emily and I are a lot alike, which was like the weird part, like even like how we carry ourselves to what we do on the weekends. So like this and that was like so weird. And we hit it off, made a video, made a bunch of TikToks, and then we kind of rekindled it 2 weeks later where she went to New York to see her sister. And I booked it up there from Virginia, and we kind of hung out for a couple more days, and I haven't seen her since. But we actually still talk like almost every day. We hop on a little FaceTime at night. No label on us yet, but we're still trying to figure things out. So it's fun, but it's still surreal.
That's funny, bro. I was gonna say I hop on a FaceTime every night with someone too, but I call her my girlfriend. We've been dating for 5 years. I'm just throwing that out there. Take it for what you want over there, Mitch. I'm just saying.
You got any tips for me, Jerry?
Listen. I will say I can help out with the long distance thing. This is my forte. My girlfriend's been living across the country.
Oh, where's she go?
She doesn't go to school. Well, she does. She's in online schooling right now. She's pursuing a professional dance career. So she does like background dancing for all kinds of crazy people. Awesome stuff. But my biggest go-to line, is listen, this is not good. I'm going to be honest. This works because I've been dating for 5 years. This is why. We'll get into like a little scuffle about something. We don't get into fights. Because every time we get into a fight, I go, if I mess up, I admit I mess up. And then I go, listen, are you going to break up with me over it? Because I don't do anything that bad. I use that line. I say, are you going to break up with me over it? And then she'll be like, well, no. And I'd be like, so why are we wasting our energy on this? Like, it's not like a bad thing.
Yeah. Like Emily and I definitely haven't had any fights yet, but like to get in a situation like that, I feel like if it's not breaking up worthy, then like it was just wasting time.
But at the same, I feel like that's only a line you can use after like a couple years. Like if you're a month in and you know you're having a little disagreement and you're like, "Whoa, are we breaking up?" Then she's like, "Whoa."
Yeah, you're ripping that like 5 years in, and she's like,
"Oh,
this guy blows."
It's no bad. You got to acknowledge you're wrong. You got to You got to be able to like. That's a good thing in a relationship. I feel like for anybody, if you could straight up say, "You know what, I messed this up." That's what me and Madeline do great. Yeah. So that's why it works. It's like we're on each other's team, but if one of us messes up, we can man up and say it.
Yeah. Preston, you got a girl?
I do. Been dating for like 2.5 years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Take notes, Mitch.
What's up?
Any tips for me?
I like Jarrett's tip a lot. I really did. That was good. I'm gonna start using that. I feel like that could solve a lot of pointless 15-minute conversations over what? Like, what are we doing here?
Okay, awesome.
Oh, and ice cream solves a lot of problems. Always remember that one.
I got a huge sweet tooth. She obviously cares about her body a lot. She's a runner. But like, I got the biggest sweet tooth.
I'll be honest with you, Mitch. I think I'm gonna have to settle some beef with Emily. I reached out to her via DM probably 2 months ago, trying to get her on the podcast. She popped up on my For You page. I'm like, oh, Duke track star? Psh, that'd be great content for the podcast. Never got back to me. You know, it's even funnier. Check your DMs. I also hit you about 2 months ago.
Wait, really?
Yes, sir.
I'm not going to check it now.
But yeah, check them after.
Check it now?
But I'll be honest with you. I did it right when you were like million views on TikTok.
Oh, no. I mean, I wouldn't have seen it then.
Right. Exactly.
I already deleted it then. Would you do it on your account or Kickin it?
Mine. So you probably weren't going to hit someone back with 700 followers.
Yeah. No, I mean, it was just bad timing though. It was honestly like bad timing. Like through like that whole thing, like I was getting so many DMs and it was like, I do check them. Like any social media that influencer, if you want to call us, like that says they don't check their DMs are lying to you, like flat out. Like that's where like the business happens. And I don't know how I didn't see that. I'm gonna apologize here. Sorry, Preston.
No, dude, you're good. Like I literally was trying to get you on for the hype. That I'll be totally honest with you.
So this is like, I thought you said you reached out to her before.
I did before you.
Oh, before.
And then I'm like, oh my God, worlds are colliding right now. Now I'm gonna try to get him on. Nothing. That's all right.
See, that's the weird part too, is like a lot of my boys texted me after. It's like, dude, you see what Co responded or Emily responded? I'm like, I've never seen this girl in my life. Like that was the first time I ever saw her. And all my boys were like, dude, the track girl from Duke. I'm like, I don't know who she is.
That's hilarious.
Is her sister like a singer or something like that?
Yeah, sister's a pretty big singer down there in Nashville, so she kills it. Julia Cole is her name. I haven't met her, but I think that's so sick.
It's a good thing you just said you haven't met her, because if you just openly admitted to like meeting the kind of famous sister, we would have been like, okay, are you sure it's not more than, just a nightly FaceTime?
Yeah.
Kicking It Back's going to have the Pelkey plug after this. I want plugs with all the Coles. I want them all. All right. I want. No, so I got to ask, how many DMs are you getting a day? You could call yourself an influencer because that's what you are. I mean, how many DMs are you getting on all your platforms if you had to guess a day? I mean, you probably don't have an exact number.
Yeah, I'd say like TikTok wise, like especially like when I was in the thick of it with Emily, was definitely like 40, 50 a day. And I'm like definitely not a guy that like responds to DMs if like girls reach out or like anything like that. Yo. All right, thank you. Sorry, that was my dinner. Like anything like that. But definitely a lot of DMs, and like to be honest, like I've seen almost every one. Like I said, I go in there and check it out. Almost, like I said. But yeah, I think like obviously that's where it happens. A lot of businesses is in the DMs as well. But I don't know. I look at my Instagram and anything under Mitchell Pelkey is a business, so I don't really flirt with the lines.
For sure. And
yeah,
I have to ask another question. Yeah. So you said like obviously all that hype has died down a little bit. Every TikTok I see of your guys that you post, everyone's in the comments like, oh, where's Mitch? Oh, where's Emily? Like, does it ever get to a point where it's like we both have individual lives, or is it all just like
I mean, I think that's just like kind of like that drama, like reality show, like kind of vibe. And it definitely like gets annoying for sure. But at the same time, it's like, if I say something about something and they might get the wrong impression, then it's like, oh, this guy like dropped the bag or fumbled the bag. And it's like, I talk to her every night. Like, it's not like it's going anywhere, but people just like are so invested. And like, that's the crazy part too, is like the amount of moms I've gotten my DMs saying like, hey, I have 2 little Johnnies and I've been married for 15 years, but I'm so invested in what you and Emily are doing. It's like, it's cool. But like to a point, it's like, all right, like, we relax. Like, like we're still trying to create content and build our numbers up. Like, not every video has to be related to each other.
Right.
For sure. So I got to ask, so, like you said, you're at Ohio State, you're making content, all this stuff. Do you get free time? Like, what are you doing on a Saturday? Is it always business? I mean, you got to be, I just watched your coach's interview where he talked about you giving up a lot of that free time.
Yeah.
Like, is it really business 24/7, or do you get a night where you can kind of kick it back with the boys?
Yeah, I mean, this is actually something I'm struggling with right now. Is like freshman year, I was like just living the college life. That first semester when I was here, I actually didn't create content just because I wanted to like get everything under me, like practice and school and everything like that. But like when quarantine hit right in March, I was like, dude, like I got to start making videos again. Like that whole creative process I just missed. And ever since then, it's just been kind of like business. And then when NIL hit in July 1, like it was like, all right, this is a business. Like, I'm not letting this go. I'm just going to, July 1 hit and I started sprinting. I've kind of just not let off the gas. And like, the thing I'm struggling with is like, I got to come up with like another hobby. I literally wake up, hop on the laptop, do something brand related, go to practice, come back, do the same thing, and then try to fit school around there. And like, I try to like, I definitely enjoy my time like at night with my guys. And like, I try to hang out with them a little bit on the weekends, but like the days of like, me like hitting high street like all day Saturday are definitely over. And I don't know, I just think like that's another big step you need to take in the business. Like if you're serious, like that's a step you need to take. And I think at the end of the day, like, do I still get my balls busted? Yes. But at the end of the day, like they know what I'm doing. I'm not just like at home playing video games. Like I'm trying to build something here. And like, that's definitely been the hardest part in trying to like figure out ways to like not get burned out. Cause especially in YouTube. And I feel like as you guys continue to do this too, like the more work you put in, the more you're going to get out. And like, you're an entrepreneur. So like trying not to get burned out is the biggest thing. And for me right now, I'm like not even close to being burned out, but like I got to start implementing like hobbies and different things I can do to get my mind off, working. Cause it's tough. Like I feel like I'm a workaholic sometimes.
For sure.
That's without a doubt. We got to get you out on the golf course, Mitch. That's a hobby right there.
That's another thing. I used to play golf recently. I started to hate it just because like I have no patience. I don't know if that's me just being Italian, but I have zero patience. So I don't know what that looks like for your boy yet. I'm trying to figure out talking about your teammates. And but one weird thing that comes to mind is like when it gets warm out, when the weather starts to change in Ohio, I really want to get a pair of shirt off, headphones and helmet on, and just get a pair of rollerblades and just rip it through campus. Like, I know it sounds like a clown, but like that would be something that I'd actually like be interested in.
If I saw you rollerblading, I would absolutely love it. I would cheer you on as you are ripping past me.
I love that. Well, I appreciate that, Preston.
I'm just gonna stay quiet. I'm playing.
No, but it is something though. Like I definitely like do need to figure out because it's like I said, it's just like such a taxing thing. Like you're just like glued to this thing. Like people are like, oh, dude, Mitchell Pelkey is a sick life. It's like, dude, like I literally like sit here the entire day.
Yep, for sure. And we can relate to that from the editing side of just the podcast. And you have a lot more stuff going on than we do right now. You seem obviously very committed to this stuff. Like talk about where you want to go after school with it. Like what's your goals and your dreams with it?
Yeah. So right now I'm a junior. Obviously I have my senior year and potentially that fifth year because of COVID. So planning on taking that, obviously that is a couple of conversations with coach and kind of where I am in 2 years. But after college, like I still want to be creating content on TikTok and YouTube and really just kind of doing the same thing I am now. Then in whatever genre that looks like, if it's still lacrosse, if it's not lacrosse, if it's totally something different, we don't even know about, just still creating content under the name of Mitchell Pelkey is something I still want to do. Acting, broadcasting, those have always been a thing that I feel like I could do, but like those are kind of backup plans. I feel like, build my brand up. By the time I'm 25, I don't want to still be making YouTube videos. Like I feel that my channel of how I've grown it is kind of my resume if I want to take that into different things. So that's definitely the goal. I definitely believe in myself and truly like would love to do that because like I'm so happy doing it and I could see myself doing it for the rest of my life.
That's awesome. What's the biggest advice you could give us being a smaller podcast right now? And obviously we want to grow to a bigger standpoint. What's some advice you could give us?
I'd say like figure out like a niche podcast wise that you can get in and kind of once you conquer that niche, like continue to branch out. So like right now I feel like I'm definitely at the top of this lacrosse creator niche. But like, that's why I'm branching out and like doing this Pelkverse with all the other athletes here at Ohio State or like doing different things that aren't related to lacrosse. Cause at the end of the day, like that's not long-term for me. So I'd say for you guys, like figure out what that niche is for you guys and you guys love doing it, conquer it and then move on to the next thing. But I'd say too, like going back to what we talked about in the beginning, like take advantage of like TikTok and like these other apps that like can blow you up even faster. Like that's why I put out all these little micro clips of my YouTube video on TikTok is because the views and the duration, like all that stuff is just more on that app. So it's like, it's kind of like a cheat code a little bit, but I think the last thing I'd say is like, you got to be consistent with what you guys are doing. I know it's definitely harder because there's two of you, not just one of you, and you guys aren't in the same city sometimes, but consistently put out episodes and like, you might not get the LeBron James every episode, but at the end of the day, you're getting reps at what you're doing and want to do long-term. And at the end of the day, it's only going to, help your craft get more golden.
That was killer. I'll be honest. That was some good advice.
Bro, you killed that without a doubt.
Absolutely. I still remember being in your guys' shoes, dude. I was like, I didn't buy my first camera until like I was a year into it. I was like, all right, like probably should upgrade now.
Yeah.
It's relatable, man. That's
we're,
it's
we're,
relatable.
we're at that
Everything you
same
said.
point.
Yeah. And if you guys ever get a cat on here that could say they could never relate to you, that guy's a scumbag.
Yeah.
Look at Mitch Pelkey being real on Kicking It Back.
Yeah,
That's what it's about.
Yeah, I mean, talking to two genuine guys, Preston and Jared. I mean, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
I love that. We got to get this. We got to get some underrated on you. We got our brand right here. We need to get you a hoodie, maybe a little scarlet and gray.
I definitely rep it.
For sure.
How much stuff? I got to ask real fast. Like, are people sending you stuff left and right? Obviously, you have like an NIL deal I saw.
Yeah.
You're getting lacrosse sticks and stuff. Are you getting stuff sent from random people all the time, or is it just kind of like limited just to that?
Yeah, they definitely reach out. I mean, I definitely like to stay exclusive for sure. You know, working with STX is the best lacrosse company in the world. And just staying exclusive to like stuff I love. And like, you really have to like, if you're a brand, like I'm going to talk to you and get to know you. And I really have to like who you are and like the message you're spreading. Cause at the end of the day, like if your core values aren't the same as mine, like no offense, I just don't want to work with you. And like, and that has nothing to do with like if the brand is good or not, but like, I don't know. It just like, the whole NIL thing has definitely brought like a whole business side to it. And I'm glad because I think like it's warmed me up for like when I graduate and like doing this full time and like money is like a bigger issue. But I just think you got to have boundaries and you just got to be like, you got to play it safe and just like always remember like what you're trying to do. And if a brand aligns with that, like take it on. And if it doesn't, you got to say no.
Yeah. That's
dope, bro. Good.
That makes total sense. Yeah, for sure. All right, let's lead into our first segment. We got What's the Word? You ready for it?
Let's rip it. So wait, give me the background again.
So we have a list. We're going to give you the word and you got to say the first word that comes to mind. First word or like short phrase. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I got you.
First thing that comes to mind at all.
Yeah.
Want me to rip number 1, P?
Yeah, do it.
All right. First one we got is lacrosse.
Kevin Pelkey, my dad.
Nice. I enjoyed that one.
Yeah. That was quick. That was really quick.
Yeah, that's quick.
That was genuine right there.
Quick or no?
Yeah,
bro. Yes. First thing.
Okay. Yeah,
I mean, that was good.
Sure, yeah, I mean, like I said, had the stick in my hand all the time growing up, and just like a guy I can, forever give compliments to.
Yeah, for sure. Next one, influencer.
Casey Neistat, legend. Right there. He's right there. Do you guys know who that is?
I do not.
I don't.
What?
Enlighten us.
It's little. We call this on the Buckeye Lacrosse Productive Action. Jerry, Productive Action, and I go on YouTube and watch old Casey Neistat YouTube videos. Guy was a legend on the website, legendary creator. But let's go to number 3.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting there. All right, number 3, we got Ohio State.
No, I just say like Urban Meyer. Like that's I feel like a go-to, no doubt.
That was a safe one.
Yeah.
Was it though?
Nothing really.
I guess now. I don't know.
I don't know. That definitely took me some time though. But Gary.
No. Urban Meyer's a legend around here, no doubt.
Yeah.
I'm so clipping him saying Urban Meyer and then the video.
Yeah, I know. I was really just thinking that.
Mitch's people are going to be reaching out to us about that one.
All right, next one, energy.
Mitchell Pelkey. I think without a doubt, like if you ask anybody that knows me, that's like the one word they describe me in. Energetic. I think that just like, I don't know, like we talked about, just like me, who I am.
For sure.
That's awesome, bro. That's that Italian in you. I'm the same way.
Yeah.
All right. And the fifth one, we got a final one here. We got Mitchell Pelkey.
Just genuine, I think. Like hopping on this podcast or meeting me in the street, like I'm going to be the same cat. And like, I think like that's going to be it forever. And I think just I'm a genuine cat.
That's awesome, bro. Yeah. We got a good one here, though. I got a good one. All right. Yeah. So we always add on top of that one. Okay. 100 years from now, somebody says the name Mitchell Pelkey. What do you want them to think? As a friend or like guy that watched my videos?
In general, someone that doesn't
anybody.
Know you. Yeah.
Maybe they do know you just from the grand scheme of things, but what's the first thing you want? It's a good question.
Mitchell Pelkey was a genuine good guy that me and my boys or my family or my friends watched on YouTube and loved his content. And it was always something I could go to when I wanted to laugh or some sort of inspiration. And a guy I looked up to outside of just playing lacrosse or creating content.
Damn, I like that, bro. That was good.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yep. Cool.
All right, bet. Fan favorite topic here. Over under. All right.
Over under.
Okay.
This is what started kicking it back.
Like overrated or like underrated?
Yeah. You got to take a side. Yeah.
Okay. All right.
We like, they're really random topics. They're usually multiple. This season, we're just cutting it down to one. Sake of time, we added the what's the word, but literally we have like kind of made our brand off of this game, like the underrated hoodies. We've had some athletes rocking them and whatnot.
Yeah.
So they've been taken off. So everyone loves this segment. So Pete, give us what the topic is for this episode.
Oreos.
Okay. All right. This fires me up. Okay. I'm going to give you guys a little something after about Oreos, but let's get into it.
What do you think? Are they overrated or underrated?
Oh, that's it? Oh,
that's it.
Oh yeah, bro. We told you it's random as random as hell.
Oh, okay. Underrated for sure. Literally, like I just cleaned out. Like I can show you guys. My mom gets me the Costco size Oreos that I have there. It's like I don't even know how many. I think it's like 500. And I eat 3 every night after dinner. Like that's my dessert. And I cut the icing off. I hate the icing in Oreos. I just eat the cookie. Yeah, I know, crazy. That's why it's so weird. You guys asked.
Bro.
Yeah, I know. Dude, I hate the icing in Oreos.
I swear, I think we gotta end the interview right now.
And that's about all the time we have for Mitchell Pelkey, everybody.
Yeah, I'm telling you, give me a red Solo cup, fill it up, 2% milk, about halfway. Give me 3 Oreos, a little plastic knife. I'm teeing off the ice cream or the icing off there, eating just the cookie. And that's my dessert, dude. I love that. That's so funny you guys brought that up.
So how'd you come up with 3 Oreos?
3 was like good. It's like good enough to satisfy the sweet tooth, but not a lot like
not overeating.
So fat.
Right.
Yeah, you're not over on it. But to, I guess, answer the original question, underrated for sure. The amount of things you can do with Oreos is actually crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, the look on my face is accurate right now.
Yeah, you're gonna hate my take. I think they're overrated.
Really?
I really do think there's a lot of other cookies that are superior.
What type of cookie you going to do? Don't say just like chocolate chip guy.
I'm a big M&M guy.
Really? No, like cookie, like M&M cookie?
Oh yeah.
Interesting. Okay, I haven't had one of those in a while. What do you got, Jared?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm still wrapping my head around the whole cream and knife situation. I'm struggling right now.
Dude,
no, I'm playing. No. Like I want them. Like give me double, like mega stuff. I want as much cream on that.
That's actually a tip. Okay, if you want to go and you want to be like, hey, I want to take the Mitchell Pelkey route and take off the icing, go and get the mega stuff because it's easier to take off the icing.
Wow.
You have
it down to a science.
Yeah. It just comes off as one piece where the other ones you got to actually take time and scrape, breaks and all that.
Listen, Oreos severely underrated though. If you put them in the freezer and eat them cold, like a little frozen, oh, dude, game changer, bro.
Really?
Game changer.
Jared, right. I'm gonna have to test that out.
We got to go back for a second.
Okay.
You asked me some dating advice. Okay. I didn't have a solid answer for you. I have one now. First time you meet Emily's parents and they offer you some Oreos, just eat it like normal. Don't scrape out the icing. They're gonna be like, this dude is not dating our daughter.
Just soak it. I appreciate that. I think I'll do that.
Listen, I got some advice too, but I'll save it for the very end of the episode. It's how I want it to go out. All right. I want everyone to take this advice.
Wait, how'd you guys pick Oreos? I feel like you've had to know that. I don't think I've told anybody that either.
Listen, if I'm going to be honest, I wanted to go drinking at the bar and I was like, man, I don't know if he's 21 or not. So I didn't want to like get in any trouble. Yeah. So I went away from that. And I was like, all right, we'll just go Oreos. They're usually voted in. We just haven't ran a poll in a while. So usually people send in the topics. We didn't do it for this one. So it's been a while. So I just thought of something. I'm like, Oreos.
Wait, that was random? You just thought of Oreos?
Oh yeah, totally random. I didn't see anything. I swear. I don't know if that's been on the YouTube or
that was like,
I did my research
so
too.
Well. Yeah.
Yeah. I did my research and I didn't see anything about Oreos, but maybe I don't know.
Yeah, Jerry, I like that.
Should have did 7-hour car drives. All right. And the final segment we got is Cam's hypothetical. Our buddy sends in a hypothetical. It's based towards whoever we have on. So obviously he knew we were having you on. So the hypothetical for this episode we have is, would you rather never be able to post a TikTok again or never eat your favorite food again?
What is your favorite food?
My mom's chicken. My mom's pasta with meatballs.
How'd you get chicken out of that?
He's an Italian.
I don't know. I think there was like
His chicken's been sitting outside the door since his roommate came by. He can smell it.
I literally got chicken enchiladas outside the door. They're probably getting hot right now, but I'd say the TikToks. Like at the end of the day, like I could never ever give up my mom's meatballs with pasta sauce. It's like an iconic thing. Jerry, you said you're Italian. I mean, you probably got something similar, but like Ma's homemade pasta, homemade meatballs and sauce. Like as an Italian cat, like even saying no, like I'm good tonight, your mom's getting the wooden spoon out. Like it's just like you think you can't do. So it would definitely be, I would have to bounce on the TikTok and say I'm going to continue to eat my mom's go-to meal.
Wow.
All right.
I mean,
fair enough.
That's crazy coming from someone with 72,000 followers on TikTok.
Yeah. I don't know, dude. I think like there's always a way to, maybe I double down on YouTube, but like to give up like your favorite meal. Like, what's your guys' favorite meal?
Pizza.
From where?
I'm not picky. I like Romeo's. Have you ever had it?
No.
I also like Papa John's.
Okay. What about you, Gary?
My favorite meal is my Aunt Angie's homemade Italian feast. It's the same spaghetti, meatballs, everything. That's I when you said that, it hit home. I knew exactly, like I had the meal in vision.
The other Italian thing too is like when Italians go to like an Italian restaurant, they automatically hate the food. And like, even if it's good or not.
Ask my girlfriend. We'll try to find a restaurant and she'll be like, let's go here. And I'm like, I'm not going to get Italian. I refuse to pay for like crap Italian food.
Exactly. But I got to say, like Marcella's in the short north is close.
Okay.
Silly. Have you guys been or no?
Haven't.
Oh, it's silly. It's really good. I definitely recommend that.
Interesting.
Have to try that out. Yeah. All right, Jared, take us out. What was your advice you needed to?
All right. I got one last thing. Anything you want to shout out? Anything, Mitch, before we take this home?
No, I just want to say, if you guys like this interview, give me a follow on Instagram, YouTube, any of those social media platforms. It's all under Mitchell Pelkey. P. Jerry, I really do appreciate like having me on here. I think this was like so sick. Definitely, without a doubt. Now this is kind of over. Like definitely the best podcast where I've been in the guest position. So I just want to say thank you. You guys are doing a great job.
Appreciate you,
that.
brother.
That's a huge compliment.
Yeah, without a doubt. Hopefully we can do it in person soon. We can get you in the studio. We can get the whole setup, do it. That'd be more fun. Get the, that engagement. But I want to send everyone out on some advice here. All right. If you ever drive to meet a random girl on TikTok, don't forget your suit. Thanks for coming out, Mitch.
Thanks, man.
Appreciate it.